everybody. Hello. Just as I usually say, this is a live stream, so if you are watching this back, it will be chatty. Particularly this time around, it will be chatty because I'm hanging on to consciousness with a thread. So bear with. It could be a bumpy ride. Make sure you buckle up your seatbelt. So yeah, it's a live stream, but if you don't want to hear the chat, you can either come join us or next time, or you can just skip through, or you can wait. There will be an edited version at some point. So that is that. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, turn your notifications on so you never miss a video. Yep, that'd be good. And then you can come join us on a live, which is always good. And as usual, I would love to see your versions of any cards that we make or have made in the past. So if you go onto Pinterest, I have a board called Iced Images Inspiration. If you go and look me up on Pinterest, you should be able to find the board. And then you can just request to join. I can approve your request to join, and then you can pin your pictures of cards you've made using stuff that we've done in if it might just be digital papers that I've made, or it might be actual cards that I've done, like folds and stuff. So yeah. Right, enough of that. Let us go back to the comments, and then we can do the giveaway. So let's have a look to everybody. So hi Kerry, hi Louise, you said so far so good. Another hot and humid day. Hoping to call off once the storm named Debbie pushes through. Yeah, I hope the storm doesn't do too much damage. Hi Mickey. I was going to answer how I'm doing because yeah, it's a long story. It's a long story. Hi Mitzi. Hi Laurie. Hi Jean. Debbie in Texas. Hi Cindy. Yeah, so you'll have to bear with me today. I have been up since 4 o'clock in the morning, only had about 5 hours broken sleep. I've driven a 3-hour journey, just over 3 hours journey to drop my son off at a youth camp. And then I drove 3 hours back home again. I didn't get back till so I left the house at like, what time? 5:30 in the morning, and didn't get back until 3:30 in the afternoon. So I am very tired. Like, I'm normally tired, but this is a new level of tiredness. So you'll have to bear with me. Okay, so we'll see how we go. Hopefully we won't have too many disasters, but I can't promise anything. Right, okie doke. So let's do the draw, because otherwise I will forget. Yes, it was a very long day, Marianne. So yeah, apologies. So I know Vicky left a message earlier saying, why is it so late? I did put a little poll out, little vote out yesterday, I think, to say, or the day before, I don't know, at some point anyway, to say, wouldn't be able to do it on the normal time. So what time would you like? And 7 p.m. UK time was the one that got the most votes, which is why I went for 7 o'clock. I'm glad no one voted. The majority was not for 3 p.m. because I wasn't back at 3 p.m. So although that was an option, originally I thought I was going to be back, but I clearly wasn't. So hi, Dan. So yeah, right. Let's do the thingy bob giveaway. There'll be lots of thingy bobs and Ujima flips today because, yeah, hopefully the light will hold out. I've got daylight at the moment powering, but we'll see. So the giveaway, for those of you who don't know, maybe you're new to the live stream, you haven't been before. Basically, everybody who buys one of my digital kits from Etsy, let me put up my little Etsy thingy bob. So anybody who buys a digital kit from my Etsy shop gets entered into a giveaway. Oh, my husband's just come back, so you'll have to bear with if there's noises in the background. And so then if you buy 4 kits, you get 4 entries, etc. And then each week there's a prize you can win. So this week it's this stamp set. So I'm going to pick out the winner now. So the winner is number 5, and number 5 is, bear with, let me find number 5. Let me just, oh gosh, what have I done? Hang on. Oh, we'll have lots of technical difficulties today. Just bear with. Number 5 is Teresa Birchall from Barnsley. So well done, Teresa. I will be putting this stamp set in the post for you. So that is wonderful. So yeah, I have what was I going to say? Yes, so I've done a live kit. See, this is how today's going to go. This is how today's going to go. Oh my goodness. So I have done a digital kit Let me add that onto there. I've done a digital kit this week. However, I've got some exciting news coming up. Oh, so before I get onto that, sorry, you have to bear with me. So this week's prize is this die. So this week, if you buy a digital kit from my Etsy shop, then you can be in to win this die. Okay, this die measures, just so you know, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So that is that die. So it's quite a cool die. Yes, Mickey, a very long day indeed. Yes, Marianne, definitely. Dorinda, hello from sunny North Lincolnshire. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Hello, hello. Louise, these long drives are a killer. On Sunday, you drove 3 hours home to Pennsylvania in the morning, stayed for Anita's birthday party, then drove home. My goodness, yeah. Thank you, Dima. Yeah, it was a yes. I can't talk. Oh gosh, Cindy. Yeah, finally got off the phone with tech support so you can watch me. Fantastic. I'm glad that you have managed to sort it out. Right. So what was I saying? Digital kit. So this week I have done a digital kit, but next week I probably won't be doing a digital kit purely because I've got some other news happening. So bear with for that. So let me just give you the kit. So this is the digital kit that I've launched this week. So as you can see, there it is. So we've gone for grapes. Somebody requested grapes, so that's what we've gone for. So yes. So that's available on Etsy. So make sure to head over there. For some reason, I decided to go for quite a complicated card this week. Who knows why, but I did. So we will make a start. Oh, let me show you the bonus page. So if you look on YouTube, you'll see the bonus page. But this is the bonus page. I've cut that one out already because I'm going to use that on the card today. But there's lots of grapes and berries and things. So hopefully you'll be able to use that. Just the one bonus page this week. So that's that. But yeah, next week, as I said, there won't be a kit next week because I have other things in the pipeline. So stay tuned for that one. Right. I haven't got a card to show you because I literally thought this card up yesterday evening. So I did like a scrap card, like a sample card to make sure it worked, but I haven't got any papers or anything on it. So you have to bear with. Yeah, and there's lots of ways of doing this card as well. So I've picked one of the ways and I'm going to do some others. I'm going to do some other ways later on, but I'll do one of the versions of it today. Catherine, yes, I can. Yeah, as I said, I'm not going to be able to do them once a week just because I've got other things that I want to get sorted. That I've planned to do, so you'll have to bear with. But hopefully next week I'll be able to announce one of the exciting things that's coming up, because I'm hoping I'll have had confirmation. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Hi Jeanette in Cornwall. Oh, is it? Oh, I like Cornwall as well. Cornwall's well cool. Hi Liz in Minnesota. Right, okie doke. So I'm hoping the light is okay. If it starts to get too dark, let me know. But because it's getting a bit dull in here, but hopefully the sun will stay relatively out. So for this card, this is going to be a surprise as we go along because I have nothing to show you. You're going to need 2 pieces of base cards that are 7 by 10, and on them, on the 10-inch length, you're going to score at 2.5, at 5, and at 7.5. Okay, and you can do the same on the other piece. So 2.5, 5, and 7.5. Okay, so that's those. So one of them you're going to put to one side for now. We'll deal with that in a minute. And then on this one, I'm actually going to use my ruler. I'm not going to use the scoreboard for this. So I'm going to get a pencil and a ruler. And along the top, we want to mark at 1 1/4. At bear with, I can't see my lines. 3 3/4. At 6 1/4. And at 8 3/4. Okay, and I'm also going to do this at the bottom. Now I'm going to make sure that this is going to be the back of my card. So that will end up being the front, that will end up being the back. Because we're going to draw a whole heap of lines on here. So 1 1/4, 3 3/4, 6 1/4, and 8 3/4. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a line joining up those two dots, just a faint line. I mean, it doesn't matter because you're not going to see it, but anyway, just going to draw a faint line. Drawing it. In fact, I'll go for a bolder line for now, and then hopefully you might be able to see it. Right, bear with. Oh, there we go. Don't know if you can see, you can't fully see my line, but you can kind of see the lines. You sort of see the lines, maybe. I like that, you can see the lines, there you go. Right, then what you need to do is you need to cut yourself out a little square, and this needs to be 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. Okay, so you cut yourself out a little square, it's 1 7/8. Keep this, and what I would do is I would make this piece that we're doing now, I would make this a template. So get yourself a bit of scrap card and do these measurements on it, cut it all out, and then you can just use that as a template on top of whatever. So this, for your first one, just do yourself a little template. It just makes life easier. I'm going to do it from scratch and just do it straight onto the card just so you can see. Right, let's have a look. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to take, I don't know where that bit of pink's come from. Right, we're going to take our little square, and I'm going to start on, let's have a look. So let's just, hang on, let me just fold these first. So we're going to fold along the score lines. The score lines themselves, you want to go valley, mountain. Well, actually, if we're doing it this way around, you need to go valley, mountain, valley. Like this. So this card was inspired by a card that I saw Sam Cowcott do recently. And so, yeah. So what I ended up making was not what I was planning to make, but even so, I quite liked it. So there we go. So that will be the front, but we're going to turn over at the moment so we can carry on drawing our lines. So you take your square, and we're going to start over here. And what we want to do is put this square so that the two, you're going to have it like a diamond, and you're going to have the point where the line is and the bottom point where the line is, and your two left and right points should head off the side. So one should go off the side of your score line and one should go off the side of your card. That's absolutely fine. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw around your square. Don't go past that score line though. I'm just going to draw around the square. Now there's probably a way of doing this so you don't have to do all the squares, but I did try and measure it out and it just wasn't happening. So that's why I thought, let me just stick with the squares because the squares worked. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so that's square number 1. Then I'm going to go to the bottom and I'm going to do the same again. So line it up at the bottom with the line and at the top with the line. Your points will hang off, that's fine. And then just draw around your square. Okay, so you should end up with 2 squares. Hopefully you can see that. You can sort of see it there, 2 squares. And then the middle one, you are going to, well, if you want to, it's probably more sensible to do that, is to go halfway along the width, so 3.5, and at 3.5, and draw yourself a line. This is why you need to do it with the template rather than doing it on your card. I mean, this is the back side of the card, so you're not actually going to see this. And draw yourself a little line going all the way across, like that. And then we're going to put the square back on, make sure the top corner goes through the line, the bottom corner goes through the line, and this side point goes through the line. And then we're going to draw again. You don't have to draw all the way down. As long as you go where the other square is, that's fine. Hopefully you can see that. You see those 3 squares? And then we're going to pick this on all of these 4 lines. Hi, Carol. Good to see you, good to see you. If it's your first time joining the live today, then hello, hello. It's good to see you all. We get new people when we do different times. As I said, if you do this on a template, it just saves you doing this every time you want a card. So it's not one of those cards you're going to be doing 10 dozen of, as it were. So we're going to do this again. Like that. And then the middle one. Again, just bring this in. Make sure all of your points go through lines. Like that. Okay. Now, if you want to, you could actually stop here and do half. And the reason being, because if you fold this in half, we're going to cut some sections out. And if you fold it in half, we can cut it from the top and the bottom at the same time. So, let me grab my cutting mat. You can use scissors if you want. I'm going to do a bit of both. So for these ones here on the side, I'm going to use scissors, and then I'm going to use cutting mat for the inside ones. So what we're going to do is where you've got your square, you want to leave your squares, and you're just cutting out these little in-between diamonds. Okay, I'm going to do these top ones. It's just a bit easier to do it with scissors than it is to do it with a Stanley knife. I'm concentrating, hence the silence. So please talk amongst yourselves. So this is why you need it to overlap, because you need, where your crease line is, you need to have something to hold on to. Okay, and let me do the middle ones as well. Right, so that's your outside ones, and let me do the two in the middle. I'm going to use a Stanley knife for that. Okay. Now you're cutting through 2 layers of cards, so don't forget that. Make sure you press down lots. Actually, let me come back to that one because I can't see it otherwise as I turn it around. Okay, so turn this round. Yes, Mitzi, it's very it is an interesting one. It is an interesting one. I need names for this as well, so if you've got a name for it, please let me know. I haven't seen anything like this before, not exactly like this. as I said, the one that was inspired was one that I saw on Sam's channel, but it wasn't this. It was very different to this. Okay. Well, I think we've gone through everything. Hopefully. Not quite at the top. Okay. Just get the bits that I missed. Oh, there we go. Right. So, very interesting looking card so far. Bear with. Well, yeah, you could put, I was thinking squares card or diamonds, something to do with diamonds, because it's actually based on, you know, when you make crackers, it's actually based on that, because the card that Sam made was kind of like a cracker based. She had like a die, and it's kind of like a cracker based thing. So it was centered on that. So now what we want to do is bring in our other piece of card. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to have mountain, valley, mountain. And this is where the different variations come in. So there's different things you can do here. So we're going to do one of them, but there's one that I'm going to, yeah, so we're going to do one of them, and then there'll be another one, another version coming up after. So you want to end up with that mountain, valley, mountain, like that. It is almost like a checker. Well, wait, hold your horses. So what's going to happen is this is going to stick on here. But before we do that, what we need to do is we need to decorate these two middle pieces, because we are going to cut pieces out of here. So variation number one is you just decorate, 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 and then that just goes on the front like that. Okay, so that's variation number one. That's not the variation we're doing today, but that's variation number one. Variation number two is that I haven't cut panels for this. We have panels on the inside here. So let me get those, because as I said, I haven't actually made this card fully with all the panels. So this is a work in progress. Why I chose to do that today, I don't know, but I did. So let me just grab some paper to go at the back, and I think I might go for let me think, what should we go for? So these are the two that are going to go on. These are the squares. I could go with the green spot, or I could go with quite like that one. I think I might go with this one for the back panels. Move my thing out of the way. So you're going to need two panels of pattern. Well, the matte ones are going to be 2 1/4 by 6 3/4. Let me cut those out. 2 1/4 by 6 3/4. 6 3/4. 2 1/4. There's one panel. Here is the other one. There we go. And then your patterns are going to be 2 inches by 6 1/2. So let me cut those out. That was me thinking I was all organised and ready. But no. So 2 by 6 1/2. Okay. 2 inches there. And they're going to go on there. Right. Let me just put my... Yes, almost like an argyle. it kind of sprang out from a, I said the cracker one. So I was thinking kind of diamonds and crackers, but yeah, it is like an argyle pattern, I guess. Decorating is going to be interesting, working out what patterns we put where. So we will jump that bridge in a moment. So let's just get tape on these. Oh, I would normally use glue, but obviously, as you know, wet glue and laser printed papers don't always go well together. So, checkers or chessboard? Yes. Yes, yes. You will see, actually, yeah, when it's done. Yeah, maybe actually. You know, it would go well with those games night papers. That would look quite good. Right, let's stick this on here. Like this. There we go. No, I'll keep those, I'll do it in a minute. I don't rustle. So, okay. Stick these down. So we're kind of doing not the most simpler option of all of them. We're doing the kind of, I would say that the option number 2 we're doing. So option number 1 I've just shown you, where you just stick that back piece on as it is and not cut any more bits out. Option number 2 is this one we're doing. Then there's another one which is like another step onwards, and then there's another one which is even a further step onwards. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but hopefully I am. Hopefully you'll understand when we start going. So let's stick this onto here, like that. There we go. Hi, Cheryl. Oh, South Africa. Wow. Fabulous. What time is it in South Africa? I'm always interested in different time zones. Okay, so we're going to stick these 2 on here. We're going to need 2 more mats for the back because that's where you're going to write your message. But we'll come to that later. For now, let's just... Oh, hello. Oh, gosh. It's all coming out. Oh, don't come out. There we go. That goes in there. Like that. And then we get the other one. Get this one on. I'm getting near the end of my glue, so I'm having to squeeze it. But then when you squeeze it, it starts to fountain its way out, which is never good. Oh, doing the fountain again. No, stop fountaining. Let's get the top on quickly before it decides to come out even more. 8:28. Oh, that's quite a reasonable time. Oh, it's like an hour later than us. Cool. That's a decent time. Let's go that way around. This isn't any way up pattern, but there's still a certain way that looks better to me. Right, so there we go. That's that. So then what we want to do is we should probably decorate this first before we stick it down. I reckon. I think we'll do that. So on this one then, I've cut out in total 12 mat squares that are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 and 12 pattern squares that are 1.5 by 1.5. Now, I've done 2 different patterns. So my thought was to alternate them. So to have, I need to make sure my grapes are going the right way. So to have like this. If you wanted to make your card a little bit longer so that you do actually have points on the end here, you can. I'm just going to lay these on and see what we think, because I'm not sure, having not decorated it yet, I'm not sure if I want to alternate or if I want to do them all going the same way, or what one do? So the idea I was thinking of doing was to do these on here like this, and then these alternately like that. That was what I was planning, but you could have strips if you wanted to. So we could do it that way around, or we could do it so that we have the two vines on the outside and the spots in the middle. Or actually the vines on the inside and the spots on the outside, maybe. I don't know. I quite like the mixed. I think I prefer the mixed. What do we think? Let me know. If we want them mixed, I think probably mixed, actually. I think I like the mix of them. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these down. And I'm going to make sure that all the middle ones are the top, because obviously they overlap. So as I said, I've not made this in real life yet. I've made a sample without patterns on, and that looked great. But obviously once you start decorating, it's a whole new realm. Mixed. Yeah, everyone likes mixed. Good. I like mixed too. I think it needs to be mixed. Right, let's mix them up. It reminded me a little bit of that diamond card. Remember that diamond 10th fold card that we did quite a while ago now? It reminds me a bit of that. Oh gosh, I am running low on glue. Might have to get another. I was about to say another roll. Might have to get another tube in a minute. Around. This is where you realise how straight you've actually cut your squares. It might look a little wonky, but never mind. Hopefully we'll be okay. Some of these are not stuck down the straightest, but it was late last night when I did this. So I was rushing around. Yeah, everyone says mixed. Hi, Karen. Yes, it's good to have you join us. It's good to have you join us. Extenuating circumstances have meant that I have been doing it. I'm doing my live so late. Right, stick these down. I think this would be quite good if you've got, when you have little scraps of like little offcuts of card, pattern paper. This would be perfect for using those up, because as I said, those pattern ones are only 1.5 inches by 1.5, and we all have little bits of 1.5 inch squares. If you've got like a punch that punches them out, you could use that, but to be honest, it's not even that bad to cut them out. One thing I would say is if you're using pattern paper and you're not using glue, you're using tape like I was, then I would cut out a strip that is 1.5 inches by whatever the length of your pattern paper is, then put the tape on the back, and then continue to cut them up into squares. It just means then it makes it easier to not have to be taping individual squares. That's a little tip, I would say. Okay. Right, and then let's stick these other ones down. I think if I did it again, I would just probably make sure that on the ends here, they are actual points. So I'd probably make my card just a tiny bit bigger to accommodate those. So you haven't got cut off corners. Or you could stick some base card squares over the top, but that would be a bit of a faff. It'd be easier just to make your card a little bit bigger. Just got to be careful when you're doing your score lines, that's all. To make sure you accommodate that. Okay. I'm definitely going to need to get some more glue in a moment. Last square. Right. Like that. There we go. Okay. So that's that bit stuck down. So if we bring our other piece in, what we're going to do is this is going to go over the top. Now you just want to make sure that your score lines all marry up. Okay, so I'm going to stick one side down and then stick the other side down. I am going to be cutting out some of these pieces. Okay, so just so you know. Obviously, if you want to just do a simple version, you can just, you know. So I need to stick all of these 3. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of these 3 like that. Bring my card into place and then make sure I line up those score lines with these score lines and make sure I line up the edges with the edges and the top and bottom so everything completely matches up. So that is like that. And then we're going to do the same with this one here. So again, just on those last 3. As I said, you're not going to see, so all that drawing that we did, you don't see any of it, but I definitely would make yourself a template because it means you haven't got to do all that measuring and whatever again. So that is that. So hopefully then, when this comes forward like that, it should stand up. Now what I would do is I would put it in the envelope like that if I were you. So that's how I would do it in the envelope, because then that person could just open it and it stands up like that. Okay, now so that's option 1. You could leave it like that. However, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to cut out all of these green areas. Now if you wanted to, you could draw around, you could stick the 2 pieces together and cut them out together, but I think that it's going to work out better if I do it now. So we're going to do it now. I'm going to go in now and cut, because then you know you're definitely going to have them lining up, because when I did them before they weren't quite lining up and I had to go in and trim bits off. Just make sure that your glue is dry. And also make sure you don't cut through the other card. Hi, Brian from Mississippi. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. Thank you for joining for your first time. Wondering what popping the middle square up would look like. Oh yes, no, that would look good actually. That would look good. Yeah, if you pop the middle square up, that would look good. The only thing is you need to try and think about where you're going to put your greeting and your sentiment and whatever, you know, your toppers and what. So I decided to leave them flat because some of this middle section is going to be obscured by my greeting. There's lots of different avenues for this card, I have to say. And I might show you in a minute what this looks like with the next step. Of course, it's not decorated, but Okay, so that is another step down the line. So if you wanted to, you could go with that step. Okay, but we're going to take it further. We're going to take it a next step on. Okay, so that's another version. So that's version 2. So version 1 is just with it flat at the back, just a flat card at the back. This is version 2 with the sides cut out. Version 3, so I was wrong, we're actually going for version 3. What we're going to do with version 3 is we are going to do some more surgery. So we are going to come in here like this. Oh, went a bit wonky there, but anyway. And we are going to cut some more bits out. This is what happens when you do late night crafting. Oh, you come up with some crazy ideas. Okay, so version 3. I mean, you can kind of have version 3A and 3B on this, I have to say. Because I'm thinking if you wanted to, you could literally just leave it so that you are just cutting out top and bottom. So if you wanted to, this could be the next level. We're up to here. Let's just cut that little bit there. Ooh. If you wanted to, that could be your next. That could be your next level. But I'm going further. Yes, I am. Must be the tiredness. We're going for broke today. We are going for it. So we are going in here. Now, when I did this, as I said, in my practice, I didn't do it this far down. So I actually cut it all out before I'd stuck it all together. So that's another option for you if you want to. It really is up to you. So this is kind of like 3B, as it were, option 3B. It's a bit more, you need to be very confident of your skills if you're doing it this way. Because obviously if you make a mistake, it's your whole card ruined. So yeah, you are dicing with a potentially dodgy card if you're not careful. Okay, let's do this side. You do your best crafting late at night. Well, I don't always, I have to say, but last night I definitely outdid myself with this one. Quite pleased with it. I just need to do all the different versions of it now so I can post them all and show everybody. You need to be really careful not to cut through the wrong bits. That's one thing you do need to watch out for. Oh, right, it's just one more square to go. It's nice and sturdy, I'll give it that. Because the other thing I was thinking was if you had vellum behind these, like at the back here, that would look quite nice. Having a vellum, instead of having a card panel, have a vellum panel and just leave these side pieces in. That would look good. Okay, so that's like, okay, so that's where we're headed to. That's our final destination. But if you wanted to, so that's where we're at. If you wanted to, you could go on a step further and you could do, so this is my sample one, which I haven't decorated. You could do it like this. So on the top, I haven't cut that middle triangle, top and bottom out, but I have cut these triangles out here. So I've still got that solid bit at the back. So that's another way you could do it. So if you do it this way, it almost looks hexagonal. You've got almost hexagons going on. Don't ask me how, but you have. So that's another way of, this is my sample card. So that's another way of doing it. And if you want to get completely ridiculous, you can actually cut these out. So you can cut the whole thing out. So you've basically got 2 lots of diamond square things going on. Okay, so that's like the final level when you haven't got any more to cut out. So that is the other option. And obviously it stands up like that. And I would definitely fold it down like this. That's with the Christmas cracker. You see the Christmas cracker? So then when they open it up, they can see it. So that's the final, that's the other version. I'm sure you are, Carol. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. So I quite like that hexagonal one. I definitely need to make one of those. But we're going to stop here for now. So that's where we're stopping for. But I quite like it because it actually, when you look at it, you're like, how on earth is that attached to this? It doesn't make sense. It kind of defies logic. So yeah. So then we just need to add our greeting on the front. And we need to add our white pieces on the back. So you've got somewhere to write. So on the back, we just need 2 white pieces. If you want to mat them, you can. But if you're going to mat them, they will be 2 1/4 by 6 3/4, and your white piece will be 2 by 6 1/2. I'm just going to cut it straight out of white because my mat is white anyway. So let me. Thank you, Mitzi. Yes, it certainly was a bit of an adventure making this. Right, so we need 2 pieces that are 2 1/4. 2 1/4 by 6 3/4. 2 1/4. 6 3/4. Okay, so they're going to go on the back there, like that. Yeah, I think it definitely needs something at the back there, pattern paper, or as I said, I just think vellum could be quite good. I mean, obviously you'd have to have, your white pieces behind, so you would see. But then you see that might be quite nice because if this back panel was all vellum, then when you put your pieces on, the only problem with seeing the glue, that would be the only issue. But I would say otherwise you'd have like see-through bits like around the edges, which could look quite cool. So yeah, thank you, Carol. So yeah, it's kind of, have a bit of a play. As well, acetate as well, maybe. I don't know. I mean, have a play. See what you can come up with. And then make sure to share them on my Pinterest, on the Pinterest group. So let's stick that on there like that. And then I should really stamp these before let me quickly stamp this one before I stick it in. Got a very teeny tiny happy birthday here, so that will do the trick. Try and make sure it's straight. I'm not sure how straight it's going to be, but that'll do. I'm going to ink that up. There we go. Right. Let's stick that in. Make sure it's dry. I think it pretty much is. There we go. The fun you can have with a bit of scrap card. But as I said, if you keep yourself a little template, that will save you trouble later, because you can, cut out as much or as little as you want then, because you've got a little template to kind of just draw around. Okay, so that's that bit. And then on the front, I've got this birthday wishes, which I wanted to put on the front there. You're going to miss part of your trellisy bits, but I thought like that would be quite nice. So I'm just going to do 2 little tabs here. And I think I will use Can either use white or green for this to stick those down, the little tabs. I think I might go green. Or should I go white? You're going to see it though. I might go white actually. Let me go white. So 2 little tabs. And these tabs are going to be, I would say, I mean, whatever this is. What's this? It doesn't really matter. I would put this like 1.5. So I'd say 1.5 is probably the maximum by about, well, how big is that gap? Let's have a look. That gap, I think, is 1/4 inch. Yeah, 1/4 inch. So you want them to be no bigger than 1/4 inch. So there's a quarter. They're going to be tiny little, tiny little wings. But you've only got that gap. I mean, I suppose you could go over the gap. Yeah, I'm going to go 1/4 inch. Right, so Mitzi, how will it fit? Oh, that's a good point, Mitzi. Yes, that's a good point. That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. Okay, so you could put it in like that, I guess. Oh, you'd have to actually stick it like that. Maybe fold the front round. Mine doesn't fold flat. That's the only problem once you do that. What if you do one front, one back? Oh, you could do it like that. If you did one front, one back, that would work. Okay, I'm going to go for it, and then yeah. But yes, that's a good point. That's a very. You can tell I'm tired. I hadn't thought about that. That's a very good point. So yeah, I would probably fold one flat back and one fold front. That didn't make sense, but you know what I mean. Because then you will be able to get it in. I'm going to use red tape on this because I want it to be stuck properly, and also I know that I've got the right thickness of tape here. And my scissors. Here they are. Yeah, so normally it would fold flat, but obviously with your greeting, if you could put the greeting in the middle like I am, then yeah, you are going to have to be a bit creative, or just use a bigger envelope. That's the other option. But yeah, I think if I fold one, it looks like it's happy for having one flat forward and one flat back. So I think that's the way I'll do it. Oh gosh. Dear, dear, dear. This is fiddly. Okay, so let's get a pin. There we go. And then we're going to make sure that the folded edge is butted up against the folded edge, which is here. And we do the same with this one. I'm hoping this is going to be enough. Harlequin Panel. Oh, Louise, I like that. That's a very good name suggestion. Yes, that's the one. That is the one. I'm going to write that down in my book. Okay, so then we're going to get this, and this is going to go on there like that. Like that. Let's just get rid of these bits. Okay. So then, when it pops out, so does your, there you go, so does your greeting. And then to fold it flat in answer to Mitzi's question, which I hadn't thought of, I'm going to fold it flat like that, put that one there and that one there. And then that will go in an envelope for a 5x7 card. So there you go. That is option 3B for you. Of the, what's we calling it again? Harlequin Panel Pop-Out Card. Let me write that down because I will forget. Harlequin Panel Pop-Out Card. Harlequin Panel Pop-Out card. Fabulous. There we go. I can't talk and write at the same time. So there you go. That's your card for today. So I hope you liked it. And obviously, as I said, you can go on. You can do all kinds. You can go for different options. But I just like the way that I quite like it with the rectangle behind, because it's kind of like, as I said, you don't really see how that's attached. Like, it doesn't make sense. You turn it over, it's like, hang on, how's that attached to there? So there you go. And if you wanted to as well, you could use circles. So if you want to cut yourself out a circle that's like 1 7/8 roughly, because they all overlap, so you could do that. You could potentially do it with stars, hexagons. Imagine that done with hexagons. That might be quite nice because they tessellate. So you might have to have a play around with the sizes, because you wouldn't necessarily, with a hexagon, you wouldn't necessarily need them to overlap, because you could just have, as long as the sides butt up against each other, then that could work. So yeah, there you go. This is what tiredness does for you. You end up with crazy cards. I'm quite pleased with that. Because I was really thinking crackers and thinking it would look good with Christmas papers, but obviously I've got the Grape Times pack out. Also, stay tuned for next week, when hopefully I will have exciting news. I really hope this Thursday, hopefully I will find out whether I do have exciting news or not. The plot thickens. So yeah, stay tuned. Hopefully I do. But as I said, next week there will not be a digital pack, a new digital pack, okay? Because I'm hoping that I'll be able to tell you my exciting news. And then that will be, yeah, because I haven't had time to be doing packs as well as this other project that I'm working on. So yes, there we go. Right. What was the original score lines? The original score lines was 2.5, 5, and 7.5. So they're the original score lines, and then you just need to draw your extra little lines in halfway in those panels, so that you can then position your square. Okie doke. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you have a go. And yeah, I shall have to tootle off, and I think I'm going to get an early night tonight, because I am very tired indeed. So don't forget to go and check out the Etsy pack over on my Etsy shop. So don't forget to go and check that out. And there's loads of other packs over there as well. So don't forget to check those out. If you make sure all the notifications are switched to all, if you hit the notification bell, just make sure it's switched on, that you get all notifications, because then if I put out posts about, because quite often I'll ask you guys what you think about things, so I know, you know, what you guys want, basically, because that's the whole point of me doing the channel, is for you. So so just keep an eye out on those, and then vote or answer or comment or whatever, just to keep the information going. So yeah, so that's it. So I will see you all next week. So it'll be at the normal time next week, unless something happens. But yeah, so 12:30 p.m. UK time on Tuesday next week. So I'll see you all next week. Bye, everyone.